guys, it's Misty. Welcome back to At Home with Misty. This is my April weigh-in and health update, as you can probably tell from the title. So I'm going to start with a quick weigh-in update, and then I will get right into the rest of things that are going on. If you are unfamiliar or if you're new, you may want to make sure that you check out the last weigh-in video and the last update video. That'll kind of give you an idea of who I am and what's been going on over the last few months. So I started a keto way of eating on March 6, 2017 at 425 pounds, and I weighed in for April at 417. So I had a loss of 8 pounds. I wasn't really expecting any weight to come off because I'm diabetic and I take a crap ton of insulin, but I'm happy that weight did come off, and I'm hoping to get more as we continue to go along. I only weigh in for the camera once a month. I am going to weigh in this weekend because I've changed some things up with the way I'm doing keto. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the video after this one. So let's get caught up on what's going on with my health. I think the last time I spoke with you guys, I was going to see a pain management doctor at the end of March. I'd already seen the pain management doctor, I'd already seen a neurologist, I'd already talked to my regular doctor, and I'd been referred to a new neurologist. I really think that's kind of where we left off. So on March 29th, I had my pain management appointment set, and then I had my thyroid checkup scheduled for the 4th, and the appointment with the new neurologist on the 4th. So that kind of gives you a timeline of events. So on the 29th, I went and saw my pain management doctor. I actually saw the nurse practitioner, and she told me that I have chronic and acute nerve damage. Basically, I have permanent nerve damage in the base of my neck. It's C789, C456, C whatever. It's the last 3 or 4 vertebrae right before the top of my spine. And basically the nerve there is permanently damaged. And I also have a pinched nerve in my neck. So the chronic is the permanent, the acute is the nerve damage. I was not surprised, but I was really upset about it. I asked her about physical therapy. I told her, I said, I know some people say that it's supposed to hurt. I said, but I feel like it's making things worse instead of better. And she's like, yeah, continue it. It'll eventually get better, blah, blah, blah. So I have an epidural scheduled to take care of the neck pain. So that epidural is scheduled for a couple of days before my birthday. Happy birthday to Misty. So I got home, and I was pretty upset about that because it's in the spot that I've complained about for probably 15 years. Oh, and I have carpal tunnel, which I've probably had carpal tunnel for 20 years. But the neck pain stuff, I've complained about it, and I've seen chiropractors, and I've seen regular doctors, and even my doctor, I've complained about it in the past. But I guess him sending me to the pain management doctor is really what was necessary, because he immediately referred me out. Of course, he referred me to not a great neurologist, but I've rectified that. So I was home, and I was already feeling kind of sorry for myself, and my phone rang. And normally I don't answer calls, even if they're local, but this time I did because I've been expecting calls from the neurologist and all these other people, and it was the nurse practitioner. And she said, hey, Misty, this is so-and-so. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I found a 3rd page to your report. She's like, we thought it was just 2 pages, but there's a little bit on this 3rd page. And she said, I don't want you to Google this. And I thought, oh, shit. She's like, but the neurologist has diagnosed you with the neuromuscular junction disorder. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, think along the lines of MS, muscular dystrophy, or ALS. And I was just like, what? What the fuck? Pardon my French. It's like, who calls somebody and tells them that over the stupid telephone? So she's like, don't Google it. We'll know more when you go back to meet with your neurologist again. And she was like, yeah, you're right. And she started, rattling off all these symptoms, and she's like, which you already know because you have all of them. I was like, yeah. And she said, and you're right, the physical therapy has been making things worse, so make sure that you stop that. And the way she explained it is your muscles are given juice every day, and normal muscles replenish that juice. That's why some people can run a marathon and in a couple of days they're fine. At that moment, their muscles are drained and they may not be able to do much else, but their muscles compensate for that, and then the next day they're fine. My muscles don't do that. Once, and this is probably what's causing the weakness, so the nerve and the muscle, that synapses is probably messed up. And I say probably because, and I'll get to that in a minute. So basically my muscles are given a finite amount of energy for the day, meaning that I'm given energy, and once that energy is gone, it's gone. Excuse me. And that's why some days I can barely take a shower before I just feel like I'm like done for the day. It also explains why being in the water and working my arms and my neck and my legs and stuff was so excruciating and so draining, because my muscles, once they are done, they are done. So, and it's been getting progressively worse. I mean, it's worse every single day. So I hung up with her and I just immediately went ballistic. Like, I was pissed, I was sad, I was scared. I'm all the emotions, because ALS is a fatal disease. It's fatal. There's no cure for Lou Gehrig's disease. When you have Lou Gehrig's disease, you die. And you don't die, a short, painless death. You die a long, painful, slow death. And I was upset that she called and told me that on the phone. I've just been a bundle of anxiety and stress ever since that day. So I finished that week as best as I could. I basically spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday bawling my eyes out and just trying to get myself together and get my life right. And on Thursday, I had a meeting with my two bosses, and I told them what was going on. And it's just been so surreal. So I go to my regular doctor on Tuesday the 4th for the thyroid, and he was like, he's like, how are you doing? I was like, well, I could probably use an IV of Valium. And he just kind of laughed, and we were talking. He's like, I really wish we had this appointment after your neuro appointment. And I was like, well, why didn't you guys tell me this? I was like, your nurse called me last week. I said, she said something about the carpal tunnel. It's like, but she didn't say anything else about the rest of it. And I said, I was completely blindsided. And he was like, that's because it's not definitive. He said, it's there, we don't know which one. And I was just like, oh my word. So we talked, and I said, when I go to the neurologist today, I said, can I expect a diagnosis? And he said no. I was like, great. He's like, but what you can expect is good care. He's like, this doctor, he's like, I trust him. He said, he's going to be so much better than the last neuro that you saw. He said, I'm going to give him a call tomorrow and see what's going on, what's his plan, etc. He said, and if he doesn't know, he will send you out. He said, okay. I was like, yeah. And he's like, anything else? I was like, yep. I said, I wasn't kidding about the Valium. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah. I said, I have been so anxious. I said, I'm sitting in your office and I'm on the verge of a panic attack thinking about going and seeing this neurologist this afternoon. So he didn't give me Valium, but he gave me Xanax, and I'm trying my hardest to limit them as much as I can. I did take one before that doctor's appointment just because if I didn't, it would have been completely useless for me to go. So I went and saw the new neuro, and my doctor was right. I loved him from the minute I said hi and we started talking. I mean, my appointment with him was almost an hour long. He did a thorough investigation, what's it called, examination of all of my, all of my extremities, and he checked my neck, and he did everything that the other doctor didn't do. And I told him that. I said, you've spoken more in the first 5 minutes than the other doctor spoke in the entire 15-minute. And I said, Annie did this nerve conduction study. And he's like, yeah, he's like, we're going to have to send you for a new one. He said, because what he sent, he's like, what I have, he's like, it doesn't tell you anything. He's like, there's no values or anything like that. He said, you are going to have another one. And I was like, oh God. He did have my blood work. Or he didn't have anything. He didn't have my MRIs. He didn't have my blood work. I was so mad again because I'd asked my doctor's office to make sure they had faxed it. They said yes. I even called the day before. They said yes. I asked them the day of. They said yes, and he didn't have it. But luckily, I was able to log into LabCorp and pull up my blood work so he can see it. So it's definitely not autoimmune. So it's not rheumatoid arthritis. It's not lupus. It's not Myers gravis. It's nothing that is in my blood. So, which narrows things down from probably 7,003 down to 7,000. And he's concerned that it could be something in my brain, so like a brain tumor or brain cancer. So over the next 3 weeks, I am having a brain MRI, where I asked to be sedated so I don't have a panic attack. I'm having 2 new nerve conduction studies, one on my arms and one on my legs, which last an hour long. So yes, that first neurologist definitely didn't do his job. And yes, I will be reporting him to the medical association or whatever it is in the state of Texas. I have an epidural this month. I have a follow-up with my doctor to get anxiety medication, and then I have an appointment with the neurologist to hopefully get a diagnosis. So I am barely functioning. Mentally and emotionally, I'm at the very end of a very frayed rope. And luckily, I have a really good therapist, and I have employers who are super helpful and knowledgeable and supportive. I really wanted to take off until I had a diagnosis, and they were completely okay with that. But I don't want to use my sick days like that, because if this is something like a brain tumor or brain cancer or even any of the other ones, and I have to have any time off for surgery or for anything like that, I want to make sure that I save my time off for that. And if I have to use our pool, that I save it for that. I don't want to save it just because I can't emotionally and mentally handle my job right now. So I am doing my best to work through all of that. I don't even know where I was going with that. Yeah, I don't know. If it wasn't for that fact, I probably would be. I told my therapist, I was like, I really wish you could just admit me. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm just completely and totally at a loss of what to do. And my mental and emotional health is gone to pot, and my physical health gets worse every day. It's gotten to the point now where I can stand for about 25 seconds. I'm lucky if I can get a 2-minute shower. I have to get out of the shower, dry off, and then immediately go sit down or just sit down on the toilet, just to make sure that I don't fall down. Cooking is getting very, very difficult. Rob has had to really step up and help me. On Saturday, I tried to do some meal prep. I made us lunch, and I was just so physically exhausted that I slept for 4 hours after that. And my arms and my legs are just so exhausted, and it's been like that since October. So we're going on 6 months. We're 6 months in, and it looks like it may be 7 months before I even maybe have a diagnosis. So I'm just really frustrated. I'm sad. I'm scared, terrified. It's probably a more accurate descriptor of the emotions I'm feeling. I'm trying to be really strong and level-headed and just, trying to wait for the diagnosis before I really freak out. But I know my body. I've been in this body for 39 years, April 29th. I know my body, and I know that there's something wrong. And it's getting to the point where I'm going to have to be in a wheelchair, and if they don't hurry up and figure something out. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame, but it's just a new reality, right? So, yeah, I wish I had better news, but I don't. And I wasn't even going to make this video until I knew for sure. But posting here has been sporadic. Posting on my Jolly Fat Elf channel has been sporadic. I don't want to lose either of these channels, especially the Jolly Fat Elf. I've been building that one for years. But honestly, I do what I can do when I can do it. And unfortunately, that's not every day. So, whew. And if you could see this craft room, it's a disaster. Like, I just can't take care of it. And Rob's been so busy, and so yeah. Sorry, guys. If this is your new video, hey, hi, hello. So that's it. That's enough, right? And like I said, I'm sorry that my hair looks a mess and I don't have makeup on, but I'm not kidding when I say I get about 2 minutes in the shower and then I'm done. So some days I don't even brush my hair. I just kind of try to get my fingers through it and, get on some deodorant and perfume. And one day last week, it took me probably 40 minutes to dress myself. So, because just, putting on panties in my pants, that's a step that requires 5 or 6 minutes of, getting things back to where I feel like I can move again. And then putting on a bra, is another 5 or 10 minutes. And then putting on a shirt and my shoes. I mean, it's just such a long process. And Rob goes to work so much earlier than I do. And right now I can't afford to give up any sleep, because I'm barely sleeping as it is, because I've been in so much pain and just weak. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just weak. So, I will keep you guys updated. You probably won't see another update from me until the 1st of May, or maybe my birthday weekend, because that's the end of the month. And hopefully, I've got my fingers, my toes, my eyeballs crossed that I will have some kind of diagnosis, or if I don't have a diagnosis, we have a path, even if I have to see a new specialist or whatever. So, joyous. So, I said this in the keto update. I don't want to end this on such a downer note. So if you aren't already subscribed to the Jolly Fed Elf, I'll have that in the description box down below. Head over there. Starting the 15th, I'm going to do 15 days of giveaways. It's been a rough 6 or 8, 12 months, so I really wanted to celebrate the last 2 weeks of the month. Again, it's my birthday on the 29th, and I just want to celebrate with you guys and celebrate as a thank you for being so supportive and subscribed, and if you shop for me, those kinds of things. I have reached the 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much for that. Once I'm better, I'm hoping in May, or it may even have to wait till June, I'm gonna do a giveaway just for you guys. So that's it, guys. I am really surprised I made it through with only crying the tiniest bit that I cried. Because there are days where I'm good, and there are days where I just am so stinking emotional. So yeah, so if you're the praying kind, or you like candles, or whatever it is you do, whoever you pray to, etc., if you will add me to that list, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'll have the link to the Jolly Fed Elf channel down below. Subscribe. I'll have a video every single day for the 15 days starting on this 15th. Giveaways will be open for US, and some of them will be open for international as well. It just depends on what I'm giving away. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you at the 1st of April. 1st of May. Bye.